Hello, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be about how to buy a car from a car dealership. All right. So I just wanted to share with you some things that you may need to know when buying a car from a car dealership. Some ways that will kind of help you get approved for this vehicle that you are trying to get. All right, I've been buying vehicles ever since I was like in my late teens, early 20s. And I know the tricks of the trade to getting a vehicle, right? So I just wanted to share some things with you guys. So here we go. So the first thing you want to do before you go buy a vehicle of your choice that you decide that you like is you want to get information and kind of study the vehicle that you are inquiring for your next vehicle purchase, right? So you have there's things at your fingertips. You have YouTube, you have Google search, you have all of these things that you can look into when you're trying to buy the vehicle that you desired or that you want. Also, too, it's best to have a great credit score. But if you're someone like me, I don't have a perfect credit score. You can still get approved for the vehicle you want. It may not be exactly what you want, but you will get something close to it, or you'll get maybe you might get lucky and then get that exact vehicle. All right. So the first thing, like I said, you wanted to figure out what make and model you want, what year you want to. So that way, when you go into that car dealership, you going into the car dealership with two things: positivity and confidence. The number one thing is confidence. When you walk into a car dealership, you need to walk into that car dealership like as if you already know what you want. You don't need to be saying, I don't know what I want. I haven't thought about it yet. No, 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 no. Don't do that. Go in that car dealership knowing what you want. Okay. You want an SUV, or you want a minivan, or you want a sports utility vehicle, you want a sports car, or whatever. Go in there knowing what you want, and that makes it even better. All right, so once you discover and find out, okay, you want the make, whatever model that you want, and the year, you do your research on that vehicle. Then you kind of see what's in your budget. You want to, like I said, you want to make sure your credit is straight. You want to make sure you have good credit. If your credit is not perfect, like I said, it still doesn't stop you from getting a vehicle. If you have any down payment assistance, okay? So don't get too scared and overwhelmed if you don't have a down payment for a vehicle. Most down payment amount for a new or used vehicle is about $2,000. The kind of the minimum. But sometimes you can pay under that. You just got to know how to finesse the car, these car dealerships, okay? Because I know how to do that. All right. There's been times where I've bought a car for 500 down or 600 down. And this last time I bought my last vehicle, I paid zero down. Zero down. All right. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to get into this a little later in the video on how to get qualified for a vehicle zero down. All right. With bad credit. Okay. So, yeah, so you want to make sure when you go into the car dealership, you have everything in order, all right, before you even go to the car dealership. The things you are going to need when you walk into that car dealership, you need to already have your paycheck stubs, all right? You need to have at least 3 to 4 recent paycheck stubs. If you don't have your paycheck stubs, you can bring your tax returns, okay? Because they need to see how much money you make annually, how much money you make a month, because they're going to do the budget to see what cars can qualify, or vehicles that can qualify you within the budget that you have. All right. So you want to make sure you bring everything, like I said, paycheck stubs, any kind of tax returns, any everything. What else? Transcripts, whatever. You want to bring that. You want to bring bank statements. Maybe your bank statement from your bank that you bank with. You also want to kind of know your credit score before you go in there. But like if you keep checking it a lot, it will depreciate your credit score. So just I would just let them check it, and because each time you check it, sometime depending on what app you're using to check your credit score, your credit it'll make your credit score goes down. So just be careful with checking your credit score a lot before buying a vehicle. Also, you want to have your contacts in order. Sometimes they might ask for a reference for a friend or a family member. You want to have a list of a few references that you may want to put down if they ask for that. You want to make sure you bring secondary form of ID. You want to bring your driver's license as well. You want to bring a second ID if you have, and go ahead and bring your light bill or water bill or any kind of a bill with your address on it. Sometimes they ask for that type of stuff. So just be ready. Also have a few people listed on a list that if they ask for a cosigner, that you are already have like their name and phone number available. Hopefully you don't have to have a cosigner, but a lot of times they will, if they do the math, they will say, oh, if you prefer. But if you do not prefer to have a cosigner for when you getting ready to purchase a vehicle, you don't have to. You can tell that dealership, hey, I'm going to go across the street here and see about maybe shopping over there, because see if they, and then a lot of times if that dealership really wants your service, they want your money, they will say, oh, never mind, we might can work something out where you don't have to have a cosigner. It's not every car dealership is going to do that though, so just keep that in mind. So a lot of times, a lot of these car dealerships are in competition with each other. So as soon as you say you're gonna go stray over to another car dealership, the car dealership you at they're really gonna sell you a car that same day, because they don't want you to take yourself over there and then they missed out on a commission. Because they're not gonna miss out on commission. So you just want to make sure you have just everything that you need lined up, your references, your pay, proof of references, proof of employment, and proof of if you're trading the vehicle in, make sure your vehicle that you have it's insured and all of that good stuff. Also too, if you don't have a vehicle, you're not trading in, make sure you have your insurance information available with you, because as soon as you go in, I don't know about any other state, but I know in the state of Florida, before you drive it off the lot, you have to have your car insured. Okay, before you drive it off the lot. All right, you gotta get it insured. All right, so make sure you have your auto insurance policy number information, the name of your insurance, just all of this stuff there, and your down payment. Okay, if you have $1,000, 2,000, 500, whatever you have, bring it. Okay, bring it. Even if you have $300, bring it. Every little bit helps. But we're gonna get into, if you don't have $1,000, if you don't even have $1 to put down, I'm gonna show you how to qualify for a vehicle zero down when you're walking into a car dealership. Okay, so there has been several times where I bought vehicles like drove it off the lot and put only 500 or 600 down. Now the first time I ever did zero down was just recently last year. I got my Kia Sorento, okay, from the Kia dealership. All right, so I already had an idea of what vehicle that I wanted. So every time when I go car shopping, I do a history of the vehicle. I dig into the information, what year I want, and everything like that. So I really wanted a Kia Carnival, but at that time, I couldn't get that Kia Carnival for zero down, which is fine, because the Kia Carnival is a big SUV. It's like a minivan, but it looks like an SUV. So when you are trying to get a vehicle that is zero down, you need to walk into the car dealership with confidence, knowing what you want. Do not walk in a car dealership like a deer in headlights, like you don't know. Immediately, as soon as you walk into the dealership, there will be a car salesman come up to you. How can I help you today, ma'am? What are you looking for? You go ahead and tell them this is what you're looking for. So, how I got my vehicle zero down is with confidence and positivity. Keep those two things in mind. All right. So, I walked into the car dealership. Sure enough, a car salesman came to me and asked me, what am I looking for? So, I immediately told him, okay, what I am looking for to see if you have any vehicles in your car dealership today that will qualify me for zero down. And that's all I said. And the young man said, okay, come on back here. I think we might have some. So he did some talking with his boss, manager, or whatever. And it came out and they said, we have this Kia Sorento. I was like, what is a Kia Sorento? So I immediately looked it up on my phone right then and there. So I was just like, oh, okay, it's a 3-seater. Because that's what I needed, because I'm an Uber driver. So I needed a 3-seater. All right, three sections, three rows. I'm sorry, 3 rows. All right, so 3 rows, not a 3-seater. So it had everything. So I was like, wow, okay. And that was just like so they had to do some more work and math, and they will ask you your your jobs, like where you work at, what you do. Also, too, another thing you want to have when you go into the car dealership, you want to have the name of your job. You want to have the fax number, the address, the telephone number, email address, all of that stuff. Already have everything available with your job histories. If you're working multiple jobs, if you're working 2 jobs, if you have a business, or whatever the case may be, you want to bring your business information. You want to bring your bank statements. A lot of times they look at bank statements. Okay. So bring your bank statement, bring anything, show proof of income to show that you can qualify for the vehicle. So once they came back to me, and like I said, they said, yes, ma'am, we do have a vehicle that could qualify you for zero down, and that is this 2019 Kia Sorento. Keep in mind, I bought this in in December 2024, and this is a 2019, and it only had one owner, and it was only 29,000 miles on it. So it was going to be a good deal. It was the best deal ever. And that was the first time ever I walked in and said, do you have a vehicle that can qualify me for zero down? And that's what you got to tell them. You got to already know, hey, I'm coming in here, I'm looking for a vehicle zero down. So that way they already know that, okay, this person really don't have nothing to put down today, but do we have any vehicles that we can qualify this customer for zero down? Yes, they will take a look. And I got my vehicle zero down. Okay, yeah, your payments might be a little more a month, but it still really wasn't that bad. All right. So going forward, that's the easiest way. Another trick, and I got approved. I got approved for the loan. Everything went fine, and I was able to drive that Kia Sorento off the lot with zero down. Okay, zero down. So once again, if you don't have any money to put down on a vehicle, and maybe when you when you do car shopping, you have to shop around. Literally, it's a job. Okay, maybe the first car dealership you went to, they might not approve you for zero down. That's okay. There's plenty of other car dealerships you can go to until one says, yes, we can approve you for zero down. You just have to shop around and just give each car dealership a try. Hopefully the first one you go to, that will be the one that will approve you, and then you'll be able to get your vehicle. So another thing, what I like to do when I am getting ready to purchase a vehicle, even if I have to put a little down or zero down, is the best thing to do sometimes is to, when you're going to buy a vehicle, is just be in the desperation of needing a vehicle. Okay, pull up to the car dealership in an Uber or a Lyft. Okay, and get dropped off from an Uber or a Lyft. Another thing, have someone, close friend or family member, drop you off, or you ride with them and be like, oh, I had to ride with my my mom. She dropped me off here because I don't have a vehicle, and so this is why I'm here today. My whole purpose here today is to hopefully get a vehicle. um or let's see what else I did. Come in a rental. Come in a oh baby, you okay. They will feel sorry for you. They'll feel desperate, and then you have to put on the role and be like, look, like today I'm I have a car rental. I'm spending like hundreds and hundreds of dollars every week, or every few days, renting this vehicle, and this is the reason why I'm here, because I need a new vehicle so I won't have to keep renting one. So the car salesman is going to be really trying to sell a car to you, if you do that. So that's one other thing too. And they're going to be like, oh wow, she spent all her money into this rental when she could be giving it to us. This could be my commission. So they're gonna sell you a car, a vehicle. If you coming up there in a rental, they're gonna feel sorry for you. They're gonna be like, oh man, we definitely need it. You're gonna drive off the lot today with your own vehicle, not a rental. And also, like I said, do be like the what they call it, damsel in distress. Like, you come up there in an Uber or a Lyft, and or have somebody drop you off. You look desperate. You look real desperate. This is the time to look desperate, like you need a vehicle. Like, oh, I have to go to work. I have to do this, and I don't have the transportation. It's just like, that's why I came here. You're going to get approved. You're going to get approved. Okay. Your credit score may not be all that great, but you still will get approved. You may have to put a lot more down if you do put any money down on a vehicle, or you may not have to put anything down. Like I said, you just one of those things, a trial and error. You just have to shop around at each dealership. Or if you do pull up in at to a dealership when you're getting ready to buy a car, you can say, "Oh, I'm borrowing my dad's truck because I don't have a vehicle," or "I'm borrowing my mom's car, I'm borrowing my sister's car," or whatever. Which you probably really will be, for real, borrowing somebody else's car, pulling up. But that's if you don't have a trade in. But if you have a trade in, pull up in the trade in. Like I said, make sure you bring all your information. Another information on the car. Make sure you bring your paycheck stubs, your ID. I don't know, social security number, second form of ID, anything that you think that they might ask for. Like I said, a bill, like a light bill, a letter from, or something with your current address on it. Make sure your driver's license has the current address. All of this stuff you need to present, and like I said, tax information, because they want to see, your income of what you're bringing, and your down payment, whether it be a cashier's check, whether it be cash. Just make sure you have everything there. Hey, if you do want a cosigner, and you know that they might ask, just bring the cosigner with you too. Bring them too, whether it's one, two, three. Just in case whatever one don't work out. Bring the cosigner too. If you have to, or bring someone with you. They say it's best when you go to a car dealership, it's best to go with a man. Okay, because they say a lot of times some car salesmen will try to get over on the women. Okay, but if you don't have a man, or you don't have an uncle, or your father or boyfriend that will go with you, if you're a female, to the car dealership, you got you, and you got your confidence. So you go into that car dealership knowing what you want, and you tell them straight up, hey, I want this, I want that, I want this SUV with fully loaded, or whatever. You let them know that I want this, that, whatever. And then they, like I said, they may can match you with something that you really want, or something close to it. Okay, so just be grateful and thankful with whatever they have, for you. But those are some of the things, that some of the little tricks that you can do. Like I said, just act very desperate. Just that you need a vehicle. A lot of times that works. So yeah, but this last time I went in there with confidence, because I was getting kind of discouraged, because I knew my credit wasn't all that great. But don't let that stop you from getting approved for a car loan or anything, or a house loan or anything like that. Because a lot of times, and 9 times out of 10, You will be surprised. Some car dealerships really will work with customers. They will work with you because they are trying to get that money. They're trying to get that commission. So, you know, there you go. So, like I said, just use your common sense when it comes to buying a vehicle. Like I said, make sure you have everything that you need, the information that they ask for. Matter of fact, before you even go to the car dealership, ask them over the phone what any documentation, any paperwork I need to bring. Just ask because every car dealership is different. Okay, so just call before you eat, waste your time going. Okay, so you won't like go there and then you needed all of this stuff and all of this stuff was at home when you can prevent it, all of that, and just ask them over the phone everything you need to bring your your work information, the name and the address, email of your work, where you work at. Like I said, if you work 2 3 jobs, bring all the information from your jobs to the car dealership. All right, and good luck if you are looking for a vehicle. Like I said, you have to do some shopping around, and the best time to do that, they say, another trick, another a fun fact that's a real fact, is they say the best time to buy a vehicle is towards the ending of the year because they are trying to get rid of the old inventory and to bring in the new year vehicles. That's another good way to buy a vehicle is like November, December. Now they say it's best to not buy a vehicle in January or February or March like that because they say the interest rate and the prices of the vehicle will go up because that is tax season. Okay. So I think like, but if you can't help it and you got to buy a car in January, February, do what you do. But they say the prices are more higher around those tax times to buy a vehicle. Like I said, towards the end of the year is great. Any time of the year is good, but just know if you don't have any money down, you walk in there and you tell them what vehicles that you may have that could qualify me for zero down, and you will walk out of that dealership with a car that same day, zero down. And if you do have any down payment, give them what you have. I don't care if it's $300. If that's all you got, just say, hey, this is all I have. And a lot of times, another thing, what I would do if, let's say, the vehicle did need $1,000 down or $2,000 down. Now, this is what I would do because I'm a businesswoman myself. So, what I would tell them if I didn't like, I would walk in there with what I got. So don't. That's why I say if you got $300 or $500 in your pocket, don't get discouraged and thinking that when you walk in that car dealership, you're not going to get a vehicle because you will if you do what I'm about to tell you. All right. So let's say you need a new vehicle, but all you have is like $600 down. You have $600 in cash in your pocket, right? So you're gonna go into this dealership and you're gonna let them know what kind of vehicle you want and everything. And then maybe the second or third question they're gonna ask, how much you have for down payment today? And you say 600. And then they're probably gonna say, well, we need depending if you're wanting to get an SUV or a car. Like me, I love SUVs, so a lot of times you have to at least put like 2,000 down. If you get a car, I don't think you got to put that much down for a car. Like maybe 5,000, not 5,000, 500 or 1,000. So me, I like the SUVs, and I think one time when I wanted to get a SUV, the vehicle was for the down payment was 2,000, and all I think I had was like 1,500, right? So all I had was 1,500. So then with that being said, the other like whatever the difference, I would tell them, look, I would come in like every week, or I would tell them I'll come every 2 weeks, and I'll bring in this much to finish paying up the down payment assistance, the down payment on this vehicle, and I'll be like, oh, so all you have is 1,500 today, and then you'll bring the rest. All the rest will be finished. The next 500 will be finished being paid up in about in a month. No later than a month. And I'm like, yeah, because either I'm gonna bring in $250 every 2 weeks, or I'm gonna bring $100 every week, or 150 every for the next 4 weeks or something. You kind of finesse, what is called finessing them, and then they'll be like, okay, wait a minute, they'll work a deal out with you, because then I'll be like, okay, she got 1,500, so all she need is 500. So if she says she's gonna bring the rest, yeah, okay, she at least if you got something to put down that day. I don't care if it's 500 or 1,500. They will work with you if you got something to put down. But tell them, like, if your down payment assistant is 1,000 and you might only have 500, you just tell them, hey, today I got 500. If I come up in here, every week, I'll come back and give y'all 100 or $200 or whatever you want to do it every week or every 2 weeks until it's paid up, and then they'll still let you drive the car off the lot, but you still gotta show them your loyalty, that you are going to come back and pay them, like you said, 150 every week, or up until the down payment comes to the complete amount that you pay. And then you can work with them like that even if you don't have all of the down payment. So there's ways of working around to get a vehicle even with a low down payment. Then some will settle just for just the 500. If you that's all you have, then they'll take that and say that this is the down payment, and then you can drive off the lot. It's like most of those are like those buy here pay here's. Now those are a totally different story. With the buy here pay here's, I really wouldn't recommend those, but if you gotta go to one, fine. But I really recommend going to a dealership, because that's where I got my vehicle for zero down, was at a dealership, a car dealership. And like I said, if you just follow those steps, just make sure you have all your information ready and gathered. Also, the dealership that you choose to go to, like I said, call them and ask them what is all the information that you need to bring up there, so that you can not hurry, but have a timely manner for you to get approved for the car loan, and to get your vehicle. All right. So those were some steps to take. These are some things that you could do to improve you buying a vehicle. In case someone didn't tell you, I told you. So I hope this video was very helpful, and I hope and wish you guys good luck if you are on your car buying journey. And I hope this video helped you out with that. All right, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.